Alright, well, I'm back. After I got to take care of all that stuff yesterday with the wife and her medical stuff, and today I get to mess a little bit around with this tune before I hit the gym. Hopefully I can get somewhere. I guess we'll find out. First, I want to start just by mentioning that what I've done before I even started the video is I just mapped these little macro controls to my MIDI controller so I could just mess around with the automation a little bit. I'm just going to do a straight note and then bounce it, and then I'll use that in a sampler probably for further processing. So it's a long drawn out process, and yeah, you get to bear witness to the whole thing, which I don't know how exciting that would be, but I guess it does, help to show a little bit. Anyways, I think I want to do about a 4-bar clip, if I can ever get that straight up. Yeah, 4 bars, and then I'll just I don't know let's see what sounds better. The tune, I believe, is the tune's going to be in G minor, but I think I might end up just bouncing something in C3, so that it when I so it maps to the keyboard, the piano roll. Nice. Otherwise, I would have to, if I did the sample in G, then I would have to, tune it down to meet up with the piano roll. So I'll just bounce in C3. Well, let's see what C2 sounds like. C2 sounds good, but I think that I'll get a lot cooler effect if I just bounce it with let's C3 and then pitch it down, a whole octave. And so I'm just going to mute the rest of everything. I'm just going to solo this and let it play and just mess. Well, I'm not going to solo the drums in this. So that's what that you're gonna get so sick of hearing that, probably. I can pause it, but fuck it. I mean, you want to see it from how things work, then you get to enjoy the monotony along with me. So let me just go ahead and mess with this and see what we can come up with. All right. All right, so it's kind of weird. It's going to be difficult to try and automate, the notch and then also the vocoder all at the same time, and I'm not exactly sure what the effect will be, the outcome when it's all said and done. So what I'm probably going to do is just get random crazy with this just to get some movement, and then we'll bounce it down after that, and from there we'll start fucking around with it and see if we can come up with, after the fact. I also do want to mention that I did add another bass line. When I was, obviously when I wasn't recording, because I didn't record it, but it was just a patch that I made in Massive, just something to accompany the other bass line, and I'm not exactly sure how far and how much I'm going to use this, but just to add accents and everything like that. I'm not going to do any further processing really other than EQ, and I might add an external chorus or insert effects, but that sounds like this. Let's see here. And it's nothing special. I mean, you could catch a shit ton of YouTube videos on making stuff with Massive, but it's just basically this performer LFO that I set up. So all that modulation is just me hitting C. And then as you can see, I got some envelopes set to the ring mod on I got envelope 1 set to the ring mod for oscillator 1, and also the same envelope going to the intensity. Insert 2, I got a parabolic shaper and then a sine shaper on insert 1. Envelope 1 going to the drive and the dry wet of that insert. And I mean, that's it, man. The LFO, the performer LFO is going to the bandpass cutoff just to get that movement. I may later on add some automation to the bandwidth, but that'll all come later, and just a work in progress. So I did write a little riff already here with that, and that just sounds like this. Oh, hold on, let me increase that so you might actually be able to hear that. The whole thing in its entirety. Here we go. And that's where that's at. So back to the important stuff, the fun stuff. I'm just gonna go ahead and hit record, and then I'll record these automations. Like I said, random automations, no planning behind it, so no science. And we'll go from there. And let me make sure I get these ones right. Okay. I wonder why that happens. That's one thing that kind of pisses me off a little bit. It's like it didn't pick up that automation. I wonder how to activate that. Oh, but I guess this would be a good time to point out something that was asked on the forum. I think it was Scott was wanting to know about clearing the automations out. So I mean, this would be a good time to cover this real quick, because I believe we do have some time. I mean, I don't really have a time limit, but so. Oh, you know what? There it went. Why does it do that? Oh, maybe it's because of this? Oh, hold on. I don't know, that's going to piss me off. I'll probably end up drawing it then. I'll have to get to the bottom of that. So I don't know. But anyways, let's talk about automation real quick. So you can select the different parameters that you want to automate here. Here is take for example, this is the channel for my analog. That's we created that bass sound on. Here is the drop down below it is everything that we can automate. If I wanted to automate the oscillator 1 shape, then I could just select that, and now it becomes automatable. If that's even a word. We can select points to automate by double clicking, and that'll place points there. Another thing that it'll do, and then yeah, we can click and drag those, and those are going to be how they are with the they're going to line up with the grid, really. So we could double click just anywhere to make points, and we could double click them again to delete those points. Another way to create the automation is to hit the record button and record, and then just move the knob. We can do that by like this. And that'll also create your automation. So that's another way to do it. I'm going to Control Z. That stuff. If you want to, let's say we have all that automation. Let's just automate something right here and just do this and this. It doesn't matter what we do. All right, so we have this automated, and we look at it and we're like, fuck, man, it sounds like shit. I don't want that anymore. Other than double clicking on the points or whatever, you can always right click the thing that is actually automated. So right here, this is the automation that we have for the detune. If I right click on detune, we can delete the automation altogether, and then it just gets rid of the automation. Another way to draw the automation is hitting Control B. Will bring up your pencil, and if you're too cool for keyboard shortcuts, then you can always click the little pencil button, which is here, and draw your automation. That's the automation that actually snaps to the grid. And then I don't want that, so I'll delete that. But most of the time when I do my automation, I do utilize the pencil tool. But I don't always like, fucking with this grid. I don't like right-clicking it and going down here and then choosing, the new grid size. To me, that just seems like a hassle. It's a burden to me. So I use the keyboard shortcut with the pencil, and I hold down the Alt key, and when I do that, it just ignores the grid altogether. So that way, I can draw curves, I can do whatever I want, I could write my name if I wanted to. I could do anything. It doesn't matter. The sky's the limit there. So holding Alt with the pencil tool will ignore the grid, and then you can get your more accurate, more fluid automation, and it's a good shortcut that I absolutely love it. So keep that one in mind. Alt and the pencil tool. So I'm going to clear that automation because I don't want it. And I'm going to move this back down to, I think it was, I don't know where I had it, but oh yeah, it was like 23 or something. 25 is good. Alright, so I'm going to delete this automation because for whatever reason it didn't stick, and that pisses me off, and I'll have to figure that out. I'll have to read the fucking manual or something, and I'll just automate them myself. So so to do this, I'm just going to decrease, oh son of a bitch, I'm going to decrease the grid size. Now I'm doing this, I'm decreasing the grid size, and this is what I was talking about in reference to Mark's video, is, holding control and 1 on the number pad, or just the 1 on your laptop, the number 1 will decrease the size of the grid, and then control and 2 will increase it. Control and 3 turns the triplets on, and you can see that here, and control and 4 turns the grid off altogether. So another shortcut that's actually really handy. And let's just automate this. And that was the notch. So what the fuck is going on? I'm gonna pause it. I'm gonna reopen the project because I don't know what the hell's going on with my automation. Let me just pause it. I'll pause the video. I'll reopen it, and we'll go from there. All right, so I just reopened it. Fuck it. Got tired of fucking around with it. So let's get back to where we were, and at this point I didn't save the changes. Luckily I didn't make a whole bunch. I'm just going to redraw this 4-bar clip. Control Shift M will also insert a MIDI clip. Another nice little tip there. Well, crop that. Let me show you guys something else too. When you're in the piano roll, and I think I've mentioned this before too, you don't all have to use the pencil tool. I mean, you can. It's fast. It snaps everything to the grid. Or if you hold Alt, it'll stay off the grid. You know, it's very similar to how the automation works. But another thing I like too is that if let's say I have the arrow, this is normally what I do, is I just double click and with the arrow and then draw whatever it is that I want to do. To affect the velocity, if you just put your mouse over it and with the arrow tool and then you hold down Alt, you can see these numbers that pop up in this arrow. If you you know, drag up and down on your mouse, it'll adjust the velocity of the note. So I use that a lot. I don't necessarily like drawing on, you know, on the little velocity mapper guy down here. Just as you can see, most of the time I mean it's really small for me, and I barely look at it. But in regards to that little velocity step sequencer deal down here, again, like if I were to draw with this, and let's say this was a drum roll or like a snare roll or a kick roll or something, and they're all the same velocity, instead of, you know, coming down here and, you know, clicking and trying to get everything to line up, because I want it to go from a very soft velocity up to, you know, a very hard velocity. If you, with the arrow tool, if you just hold Control and drag, you can see it, I get that line, and it'll adjust the automation to where it basically is the same. If you're a Reason guy, it's the same exact thing as the line tool. I think there's a line tool, and as you can see, my notes are affected here with the velocity. So well, that sounds kind of cool. Kind of has a granular effect to it, but so that's again another cool little thing. But I'm getting way off subject, way off topic here, and let me set this velocity to 100, and you know we'll just do that. Mark already covered this, but you can instead of me recording this into a wave, you know, you can create the other audio track. You can do that with Control T, or just how I did it there. You know, freeze this track and then Control and drag it down. But I'm not going to come back to this after I'm not gonna go back to that instrument, so I'll just end up getting rid of the instrument. I don't necessarily save any of these patches because I just make new ones whenever I get tracks. whenever I'm working on anything. Let me automate this stuff though real quick, and we'll just remember we're going for completely random here. Really, just want to get some movement, and I think this one will have a better effect if it's more. It's the vocoded one, and then the chain selector we could just do this. We'll just weave in and out between them, and it's soloed. Let's check that out. All right. Well, I mean, it is what it is. You heard it there. It doesn't. We'll make it work. Trust me. So another way to bounce quickly, and like I said, I'm not going to keep this instrument at all because really I just want the sample. So I'm just going to freeze this track, and as Mark had pointed out, all it does is basically when you freeze a track, it frees up some CPU because it renders this as an audio file, and then it'll play back the audio. Ableton will play back the audio file, and then disregarding all of this because it's rendered, as an audio file. But if for whatever reason I needed to make any changes, I could always come back and unfreeze, and then I could make whatever changes I needed to, and then I can freeze it again to save that CPU. But I'm just going to freeze this, and then I'm going to flatten it, because when I flatten it, all it's going to do is just take that. It's going to get rid of this. It's going to turn it into an audio track and just replace it with my audio file. And I don't want the tail. I don't really care about the tail, so all I did was freeze and flatten that. It's soloed. It's the same thing with, as it was with my automation, or with, as it was with all the automations and everything. So, but now I do want to save this freeze out. So I'm just going to put it right here on my desktop, because that's what I do. I'm fucking lazy like that. I'll just drag that over. It'll create this little thing right here, and then it's now available in this freeze folder right here, and we can preview that. Alright, so I don't need this anymore. I'll just mute it and get rid of it, and I'll color it red so I know that I'm not using it, because it's not worth anything to me right now. And then I will pull up Contact, because that's what I like to use, thanks to Chris, badass astrocyte, top 10 every fucking week. Getting a little sick of seeing astrocyte's name everywhere. And I'm just kidding, Chris. Love you. No homo. Let me grab this here, and we'll drag that over. Alright, so I got this whole thing. I don't know, I have nothing planned out right now for what I'm going to do with this. So you're just going to sit through the trial and error with me until we get something. And I don't give a shit if this is like a 4-hour video, as long as they'll let me upload it, because I'll just start up the upload when I go to bed. And that's all I got to say about that. YouTube can kiss my ass. No, I'm just kidding, YouTube. Don't delete this video. It's important. So let's start first off by... I don't even know what I'm looking for. Yes. Yeah, that sounds like ass much. Performance, this little guy, which is a favorite. Let me put these headphones on so I can... Alright, so one thing I don't like right off is the long build up here. I'm still kind of new with Contact, so bear with me. Chris will probably watch this and laugh his ass off. Yeah, that's what I figured. Wow, that does. That's kind of a cool effect, actually. Alright. My bad. Again, you're listening to the heavy breathing of a fat man. Oh yes. Man, I might. I like that part. Hearing me drink coffee. Sorry if it sounds disgusting. Alright. This is what I like right here. I like to take it a one band, and I will give us a little peek here. Triangle. I haven't really got the full effect of what this lag thing is. I mean, I do notice that it has some effect on the movement here of the LFO, but if somebody could thoroughly explain that to me, that'd be much appreciated. Might have to double this up using the knock bass trick that Chris had showed us. Thanks for that. I do love that video. Because I'm not exactly sure how this is going to work out with it with such a slow attack. I was kind of hoping for something with a faster attack, but we can make that happen by doubling that up. I'm sure of it. In the insert effects, let's just add fucking something. I don't know. Something. We just gotta get it sounding better. That's all I know. So I'm not digging it. Chorus, I do like chorus. Except for in this case, because I don't like that. I don't know. Filter. No. Well, you serve no fucking purpose right there. Watch this. Y'all know this guy, so. Oh shit, this is going on YouTube. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Let's see what he says there. Holy shit, 34 minutes. You're just gonna have to fast forward through this part. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pause it while I fuck with this envelope until I get something I like, and then I'll bring y'all back. So sit tight. Just a quick unpause so that you all can see that Adam says hello to YouTube, and this is a great producer, guys, but don't be stalking him. Oh, see, look, yeah, don't fucking stalk him, because he doesn't need any fucking. He needs no kind of paparazzi or none of that shit. Just he's already blown up, people. So just, and he's married too, ladies. So keep away. All right, well, it took some time. It took a lot of time, and I was bullshitting with some other people. But I think I finally came up with something that I like, and I could actually, process this even further. Y'all know how it goes, but I think I'll probably just end up sticking with this. And the only changes that I made, and this is just so I don't leave anything out, is I just changed the filter type, which I believe originally was a low pass LP1 filter, ladder LP1, well, one pole, single pole, and I changed it to a daft low pass. And yeah, I didn't even up the cutoff at all. So here's what the envelope looks like. It's not synced or anything, but it actually kind of punches through a little bit, and then has a very mild filter sweep to it. So, and this is what it sounds like if I play it through. And at a higher octave, if so, the only thing I'm going to do now is just I think I want to throw a limiter in this effect chain, and I'll actually, yeah, and then probably a compressor as well, just to see if I can't even out the volume on that. So we'll just get that, and alright, so I guess what I'll end up doing is just stopping the video now, because I've got the sound that I'm happy with. And then if anything changes, I'm probably going to continue working on this, because it is just taking me forever to stop everything that I'm doing. And no guilt, guys. I'm not, don't even go there with me. Shit. But I really have to get going on this tune. If we have a tentative release date on the Dead and Buried EP for the 30th, and I mean, this is as much as I got right here. So I'm going to stop the video, I'll render it, and I'll upload it and everything, and then probably behind the scenes I'll work out a riff and all that other stuff. But I may not make a video for that. What I'll probably end up doing is just picking up somewhere else down the road, and once I get a little bit further, because I've just really got to get the foundation of this going. So I hope that this has helped some people. If there's any questions, hit me up on the forum, or you guys have my aim. And and I also want to put out there that if you guys see any flaws in my processes where you're like, hey fuckhead, you could probably do this and this, and you can get through your shit a lot faster, I am all ears for that, because anything I can do to improve my process is just It definitely works for me, and I'm going to keep talking until this hits 40 minutes exactly, and then I'm going to stop it because it's going to be fucking sweet. Team 174, sucker. Yep.